writers, this is your second video in the series of setting up to participate in the Reels Challenge. And today I'm going to be talking about optimizing your Instagram profile. The idea behind this is that you're going to set up your profile so when you get new views on your reels, right, we're going to be posting videos, getting new people coming to our page. So when they go to your profile, they see exactly what you're about and they choose to follow along, right? It solidifies the answer for them in their brain saying, yep, I want to follow this person. And there you go, right? So optimizing your profile is one of the primary things that you can do. I'm shooting this video in January of 2025. So if anything changes with Instagram, which it may, I apologize for any of the settings not being where I say they are or that sort of thing. But what I've noticed about Meta is that things change, especially in like the back end settings where they are all the time. So I'm always embarrassed when I teach a live class because I'm like, oh, let me go find that because now it's not where I said it was, right? So I apologize if that happens in this video, especially with the current things that are happening in the social media app landscape. So things might change. So we're going to dive into Instagram. So when you first open the app, of course, you're brought to your main feed, which is going to have, different things Instagram thinks you're going to like to view. So you should see a lot of the accounts that you follow. You'll see your stories up at the top of people who have active stories. But what we're going to do to optimize your profile is go down to the bottom right to the little dot that has your own profile picture in it. And that's going to open up your profile page. Now, for a lot of writers, I've seen you've already set this up. So this is more just to clarify and make sure it's there. But if it's not for you, then this is a great opportunity to change it. So the first thing is your username up at the top. So you can see mine is just my full name. I have seen a lot of writers use full name writes or full name writer, full name author, right? And that does help in the notifications when it's like, so and so writer followed you. I normally follow them right back because I want to support other writers. I'm okay with it just being my full name, but it's entirely up to you. Obviously, for some people, you're going to have a hard time on Instagram getting your full name if you have a pretty common name. So the biggest thing is that you have your name, and then if you want to add writer, author, writes, whatever, to the username. This is important because it's searchable, right? Your username is searchable on Instagram, right? So you don't want it to be a different name, especially as a writer, right? I've seen like, sunshine writer. I get it, but let them find you, right? It's a little different if I have editors who like run editing businesses separately, right? They have the name of their editing company, that sort of thing. But we're behaving as like a creator versus a business in this regard. So I highly recommend you use like your actual name or the pen name you're going to be using when you write. Now, the next part is, of course, your profile picture. So really important, that should be a picture of you, of your face, right? So again, people connect name to face. It should be only you. So if you're in the picture with your sister, I would be going, which one is it? Right? Potentially. So you want to make sure this is just a picture of you. Um, it doesn't have to be like a formal headshot. Mine is like a silly one that my fiance took, right? So just make sure it's a picture of you, right? I have seen a lot of flowers and like things like that. And it's like, because then I always wonder if they're like a bot or like fake. Yeah. So the most you can, put a picture of yourself and make sure it's kind of zoomed in so we can see your face. Now, the next portion is going to be that name section. You'll see for mine, I have Colleen Oshab with the vertical line, fantasy writer and screenwriter. The reason why is, again, the name portion of your profile is searchable on Instagram. So if someone did search my name, that's going to help it pop up. But these are keywords, right? Fantasy. That's what I write. So if someone's searching fantasy, right, I want my account to show up, right? They'll like what I post if they like fantasy, right? And then I also include writer and screenwriter here because I don't have it in my username, um, because that tells them exactly who I am, what I do, right? And if someone's searching, writer accounts, they're going to find it. There's a much smaller group of screenwriters here on the Instagram app. So like finding other screenwriters has been fun. So that's why I do that. And then I also include my pronouns, and I'll show you where you can go in and edit that in a second. But your name is going to be really important, right? So if you are a romance writer, you could say romance or romantic fantasy, right? If you also teach a lot about writing, you could say, and writing tips, right? You could do whatever, because then if someone searches writing tips, maybe you'll come up, right? All of these keywords are searchable. To me, it's most important I show up in fantasy writer, screenwriter space. So that's why I've chosen this. But that's why you want to think about what your name is. Now, if you go to update it, pause. You can only change it, was it once or twice every 14 days? So please think about it carefully. I normally like get a piece of paper and write down my different options and like, well, okay, because you want it to fit on the lines as well on Instagram and all those things. So that's a big part there. Then, you can show your pronouns if you would like. The next portion is the bio itself. So this is where you have a very short opportunity to show this new person coming to your profile exactly who you are, what you do, why they should follow you, and why they should be interested, right? You have very little time to do that. So what you will see in mine, I have epic slow burn because I like writing epic fantasies with romantic side plots that take a very long time to get to anything, right? So that is, literally my style of writing. I also write self-growth. That is actually my first book. I'm writing a fantasy self-growth crossover of how I use my D&D character to stay positive during my cancer journey. So that's big to me. And then Cancer Warrior, because, I beat breast cancer. Hell yeah. And I love talking about it and connecting with other people, especially people who just got diagnosed, like talking about that process. So that's why I feel like people should connect with me, right? Then the next line, I have writing and publishing tips from an MFA screenwriter. This is what they can expect to get on my page. Writing and screenwriting tips. And then it gives a little bit of credibility, right? Why you should listen to me. I'm in graduate school as a screenwriter. So that is like showing off my cred. Whether you think that's cred or not, whatever. And then the last thing is a call to action. So right now, I'm trying to build my newsletter list so that when my book comes out later this year, I'll have kind of a list of emails I can send to people who are generally interested in what I do and might buy my book, right? So that is the 3 lines you'll see in my bio. If you have more than 3 lines, Instagram's going to cover up part of the bottom and it's going to say, click here for more. And then they're going to have to click more to see more. I highly recommend not doing that. So as you edit this and adjust it, work on the language, the word choice. You guys are good at this, you're writers, so that it only fits, like it fits like this in the bullet points. So I don't have to click more to see anything else, right? They know exactly who I am, what I'm about, what they're going to see on this page. And then there's a call to action. So that's huge. The last thing you'll see is I have a link on there. So you can use any one link, by the way. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. But you're going to want to include a link. A lot of people just do like a link to their Facebook or a link to their website, but One links are places where you can go and include many, many, many links inside one, right? And this is important to set up early because maybe you just have your Facebook or your website on there for now, and maybe not even a website yet, right? Depends on what stage of the process you're in. But in the future, you're going to have interested in this book, buy this book, interested in this book, buy this book. You're going to have all your different things, right? So they can, click around. The nice thing too is the one link will stay the same here in Instagram, but you can change it as much as you want on the back end. I will post another video about the different types of one link options there are and what you should consider. Don't pay for it is my biggest recommendation. Use a free account. Now, let's go into how you can adjust and edit this on your profile. It's very easy. You'll see, I have my professional dashboard, and then right below that, edit profile. So that's where you click, and that's where you edit any of this information. I am paying for Meta Verified. My friends got it for me as a gift for my birthday to try it out. So you will see that if I make any changes to my profile name or photo, I have to re-verify with them and show them my ID. But if you're not Meta verified, you can just make these changes. Again, be careful with your name username because there is a limit to how many times you can change it. But this is where you would come in and work on this. If you're having a problem with the formatting of the bio, write it in your notes app on your phone and then copy and paste it into Instagram. I found that is very, very helpful. And then of course you can add in different things like I do have my gender. I've connected this to a Facebook page. I've put a category. I do have my email as a contact option, etc. But that's kind of up to you how much you want to put in there, how much you want to share. But what I just talked about is kind of the most important. The last thing you'll see on my profile is the highlighted stories. If you haven't worked on highlighted stories yet, it is like an additional thing. But what I do recommend is as you start to figure out your brand and your brand colors and that sort of thing, and that is a whole another challenge or a set of videos. So I'm not going to talk about it here. But the covers of the highlighted stories are very important, that they start to acknowledge kind of your brand. I really like green, so I find it funny that, this purpley pink mountain thing kind of became my thing. But for this self-growth book, it kind of fits. So that's why that's going on there. But that's the general gist you need to think about when setting up your profile. Okay? Don't think about this too hard, but do, take 10 minutes and really generate, what do I typically write about? What kind of people do I want to pull to me, right? Again, I might want to say rescue dog mom as a personal thing because I really want to talk to people about my rescue dogs. Maybe that plays into my stories. One of my writing coaches writes dog related fiction books, and some of his proceeds go to a dog rescue charity. So you can do kind of anything, right? So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comments. I'll try to monitor and answer as best as I can. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.